Good evening. Welcome. So normally I would have us sit to start with and center there first, but tonight I'm going to do the breath work at the very end after Shavasana. So let's go ahead and start standing. You can come to the top of your mat. Go ahead and just have your feet about hips distance apart. You're going to come into Tadasana, so finding that center point on your feet, maybe rocking back and forth a little bit to really find that center of balance. Dropping the tailbone down, belly button comes up and in, opening the arms. Dropping your shoulders down, away from your ears, extending your crown up. Just taking a couple breaths here. Feeling rooted to the earth as your crown extends towards the sky. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhale, arms up, pressing strongly into the feet, just shifting the hips forward just a little bit, gazing up, having your back body arch as if it's draping over a waterfall. And breathing here into your chest, into your heart. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a few breaths here in the fold. Maybe you take a micro bend in your knees, shifting your weight forward so it's just a little bit more over the toes. Dropping that head and neck. Maybe shaking your head yes. Maybe no. Just connecting with that breath here. Bending a little deeper into the knees, placing the hands, stepping that right foot back, and dropping that back knee to the mat, top of the foot. Bringing the hands under shoulders, pressing those hips forward. Big toe pointing straight forward. And just continuing to kind of gently press into the hips. Anjane Asana, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Go ahead and tuck those back toes under, placing the hands, shifting the hips up and back, down dog. We're going to take a few breaths here. So go ahead and take a deep bend in the knees to start with, spreading those fingers nice and wide. Really pressing those hips up and back, rolling those armpits in towards your ears. And then from here, you can begin to straighten, extending those heels towards the ground. On your next inhale, coming up onto the toes, rolling, pressing hard into the hands, rolling forward into plank, dropping your knees, chest, chin, inhaling and exhaling here, using the toes to push your chest up and through, top of the feet come to the mat, extending up into up dog. And taking a couple breaths here, pressing firmly into the top of the feet, strong thighs. And Shifting those hips back, rolling over the toes back into down dog. Go ahead and inhale that right foot up, exhale, stepping it through. Go ahead and drop that back foot to the mat. Placing the hands right under the shoulders, maybe you're up on fingertips. Checking your knee, making sure that it's stacked right over the ankle, squaring the hips off to the mat. So making sure one's not dipping down or coming up. You want them parallel to each other. I'm just taking a few breaths here in Anjaneyasana. Continuing to encourage those hips towards the mat. Opening in the front of the leg, the hip flexors. Go ahead and tuck those back toes under. Pressing the hips up and stepping back, down dog. On an inhale, bending deeply into the knees and floating your feet to your hands. Exhale into forward fold. Maybe for this one, as we take a few breaths here, you grab behind the ankles. Again, continuing to shift your weight just a little bit forward over the toes. Pressing down through the heels. Relaxing in the head and neck. Go ahead and release the ankles, tucking the tailbone. Nice strong core. Reverse swan dive all the way up, back into your back bend. Then exhale, hands to heart. We're going to go ahead and inhale the arms up, and we're going to exhale, taking a side bend to the left. I'm just taking a few breaths here, pressing strongly into both feet, keeping the hips as square as you can so the bend is coming from the rib cage. And you're facing the front of the mat, so you're going to go ahead and take a step back with that left foot, opening the arms, left toes pointing towards the side of the mat, right toes towards the front, and exhale over Trikonasana. Maybe you gaze up at that top arm, isometrically squeezing the thighs towards one another, pressing down firmly through both feet. Nice, strong base, really reaching out through those top fingertips. You can press through the bottom arm to continue to open across the chest here. On an inhale, coming up, go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your back. And we're going to exhale forward, bowing our head towards our knee. Your right shoulder might come just kind of on the inside of your right leg. And from here, beginning to lift your arms up and away from your back, getting a nice shoulder stretch. Releasing the arms back, inhaling flat back all the way up. You can release the hands and stepping back up to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over to the right. And taking a couple breaths here into that right side body. Strong arms squeezing towards one another as if you're holding a ball between your hands. Go ahead and step that right foot back, opening the arms, shifting the hips over, lengthening through that side body until the arms come to meet that ankle. Left toes pointing forward, right toes towards the side. And as you open across the chest, across the shoulders, maybe you take a gaze up at that top hand, reaching for the sky as you reach for the ground, pressing leg into hand, hand into leg. So isometrically squeezing those thighs towards one another. Inhale, rising up. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back, twisting that front body towards that left leg, and beginning to bow. From the bow, go ahead, you can keep a micro bend in that front knee. No need to hyperextend it. Go ahead and begin to lift your arms up and away. Breathing into the shoulders. And go ahead and release the hands. Inhaling up and taking that right foot and stepping it up to the left. Beautiful work. I'm going to come and face the screen, but we're just going to take a moment in tree pose. So go ahead and begin to shift your balance onto your right foot. And you can take that left foot, maybe your toe touches the mat. Maybe you bring it to your shin. Maybe you bring it all the way up to your thigh. The only place I don't want you to place your foot is on the side of your knee. We really want to protect your knee joints here. Dropping that tailbone down, spreading across the hips, tucking that belly button up and in, nice strong core. Just finding a still point at the wall in front of you, a drishti. Seeing if you can just find some ease in the balance here. Rooted to the ground, maybe you grow your branches up. Releasing the arms, maybe you can slowly and gracefully release the leg. Switching to the other side. So getting a nice strong base, maybe spreading the toes of that left foot and bringing the right foot wherever you choose, avoiding any pressure on the knee joint. Again, tightening the glutes, drawing that belly button up and in, opening across the knee here, so keep encouraging that knee out to the side. Maybe you have your hands at prayer position. Maybe you grow some branches, finding your drishti. Maybe you find one side is easier than the other. Just beginning to build strength to relax into our balance. If you fall out, that is okay. Wherever you are tonight, that is perfect. Go ahead and release the hands, release the legs. And go ahead and let's come back to the top of the mat. Bringing our feet together, thighs together. You're going to squeeze your thighs in towards one another as if you had like a block in between your legs. And if I were to come and grab it, that I couldn't remove it. So really squeezing those legs together, drawing those knees up And you're going to begin to sit back into chair. Arms come up by the ears, dropping that tailbone down, tucking the belly button in. Your weight shifts back a little bit into the heels, peek down, make sure you can see your big toes. And then gaze forward, opening the chest. A few more breaths here. Inhale, rising up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place your hands, stepping back into high plank. Inhale, and exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, back, child's pose. So hips come to the heels, belly rests on the thighs, forehead comes to the mat. You can have your arms out long, or if you want to for tonight, maybe tuck your arms back by your side. On your next inhale, rising up. Go ahead and, so just sitting on the heels here, go ahead and interlace the fingers, pressing the palms forward, inhaling, arms up overhead, squeezing those elbows in towards one another, tucking that belly button up and in, raising the crown, dropping those shoulders down away from your ears, and just breathing here. And exhale, releasing the hands. Coming forward, we're gonna bring that, so I guess let's turn to the side. I should have had you do that first. Let's go ahead and bring that right foot out to the side. And we're gonna begin to walk that hand down towards the right foot. However far you get it is fine. You can have your foot on the mat if that's available to you. If not, you can raise the heel. Inhale that left arm up and overhead. And finding your breath here, opening the chest towards the front of the room. So a continual kind of twist through the rib cage. Armpit rolls in. So this motion with the arm, as if you could get that pinky finger all the way around and pointing back towards the back of the room. On your next inhale, rising up, bringing that leg in and coming onto the hands and knees for cat-cow. Inhaling, crown of the head and tailbone up. Exhale, pushing back, arching the spine. Inhale forward. And exhale back. One more time, inhale forward. And exhale back. Coming back up onto the knees. We're going to come into camel pose. So if you are already pretty open in the back, or you know you can do back bends, you could have your heels down. Otherwise, heels up. And if you've never done camel before, I want you to just support your back, your thumbs on the inside, your palms facing up. So just supporting your lower back. And we're just gonna release our shoulders, back, head, gazing up. And you might be there. If you have taken camel before, you might draw that chest forward and reach back, grabbing the heels with your hands. Breathing here. On your next inhale, drawing that chest and chin up, counter pose, exhale back, child's. On your next inhale, coming forward onto the hands and knees, I'm going to move forward just so you can see me, but you can just do these poses wherever you're at. So coming back to sit on the heels, we're going to cross our fingers, but this time we're going to take the opposite cross, the opposite lace, and you will probably know that it's the opposite because it will feel, most likely will feel awkward. Pressing those palms forward. Inhaling, arms up, dropping those shoulders down, away from the ears, tailbone drops down, crown lifts up, pressing those palms up and back. Beautiful work. Inhale forward, releasing the hands. Go ahead now and bring that left leg out to the side. And we're going to walk that left hand towards that left foot. You may have the whole foot or the heel on the mat. Opening across the chest, so twisting that rib cage open. Drawing that right arm up and over towards the ear. Spinning that arm in and drawing it back towards parallel with the ear. Beautiful work. Finding your breath here on an inhale, coming up and releasing your knee back to the mat. I'm going to go ahead and take a little shoulder stretch here. So bringing your hands to the mat, coming onto all fours. Go ahead and inhale that right arm up and exhale, threading it under the left and bringing it all the way to the mat. And you may move that left hand a little bit up above the head and continuing to work towards opening the shoulder. You may even start to crawl that left hand back towards the right corner of the mat. Beautiful breaths here. Nice and deep, in and out through the nose. Our theme for today is breath, so just keep connecting with that beautiful process of drawing in with our inhale and releasing with our exhale. Go ahead and bring that left hand right back in front of the face, pressing up to release that right arm. Go ahead and take a quick counter bend and releasing that right hand to the mat. On your next inhale, left hand up and exhale, threading it through, dropping the shoulder to the mat and then the head. Maybe here is good for you. Maybe you take that right hand up overhead. Maybe you begin to crawl it at an angle back towards the left side of the mat. Breathing here into this opening. Go ahead and bring that right hand back in front of the face, pressing up, releasing that left arm, Counter twist before coming back to neutral spine. And from here, we're going to take a nice balance. So go ahead and stack your hands under your shoulders, knees under hips, tucking that belly button up and in, taking the knees about hips distance apart. Go ahead and take that left foot back, pressing out through the heel, right arm forward. And then that left foot begins to lift up off the mat, working towards parallel with the mat. So dropping that left hip down, if it's starting to come up, pressing strongly out through that back heel, reaching through those front fingertips. And release. Switching sides, taking that right foot back, pressing out through the heel, inhaling, left arm up, and the right foot comes up, parallel to the mat. Dropping that hip down so it's not flailing open. You'll find a nice balance here. And then continue extending out through that heel as you draw out long through those front fingertips. And exhale, beautiful, releasing your hands and knees back to the mat. We're going to go ahead and make our way onto our bottom. Go ahead and shift a little bit of the flesh out from under the sit bones, finding a nice strong base. And go ahead and draw those legs out long, flexing strongly, pressing through the heels, drawing those toes back towards your nose. And you can begin to walk your hands forward on your legs, forward fold. Maybe you get to your feet, maybe you don't. And who knows, maybe you have your forehead all the way on your knees. Take it as far as is good for you. Try and maintain a nice straight back as you do this. Drawing out long through the crown of the head, all the way down through the sacrum. Just connecting with that breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. On your next inhale, beginning to press up. Go ahead and take across to your legs. And taking that right hand to the mat, right by your side, left arm comes up, reaching, 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 before you exhale into a side bend. And as those left fingertips reach at a diagonal towards the side of the room, about where the ceiling and wall would meet, go ahead and press up into that right hand, creating a little bit more length there in the right side body as we stretch across the left. Breathing strongly into that rib cage, feeling your lungs expand with your inhale, contract with your exhale, pushing all the air out. One more deep breath here. And exhale. On your next inhale, coming up through center, and exhale over to the other side. Again, as you extend those right fingertips out and over towards the top corner of the room, press into that left hand, creating space in both the left side body while we stretch across the right. On your next inhale, up through center, releasing the hands. All right, we're going to go ahead and make our way onto our bellies. We're going to take half Shalabhasana, and then we're going to give a full one a shot. So go ahead and bring your hands down by your hips, palms up. Your chin can come to the mat. Inhale that left leg up, pressing down strongly through the right. Exhale, release. Inhale the right one up, pressing down through that left leg, through the tops of both hands and forearms. And release. Now squeezing the legs together, we're going to prepare to lift both. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Releasing one cheek to the mat. Bringing the arms under the shoulders, pressing up and coming all the way onto our backs. Bringing your arms down beside your hips, walking those feet in as close as you can to your body. We're going to squeeze the thighs together as we begin to roll our spine up one vertebra at a time. Once you get up a little bit, maybe you roll those shoulders under a little bit more. Maybe you can clasp your hands behind your back and then pressing deeply into the back sides of the hands, squeezing the glutes, pressing that chest up, breathing here into bridge. Continuing with a nice strong base, pressing and breathing. Beautiful work, just a couple more breaths. Finding power in that breath. Go ahead and begin to release the hands, unrolling the shoulders. And once the shoulders come out, go ahead and begin to roll that spine down one vertebra at a time. Drawing both knees into the chest and giving them a squeeze. Maybe you rock your hips from side to side. Go ahead and grab just the right shin. Left foot comes out, just about an inch off the ground, pressing out through that heel, drawing that knee in towards the armpit. And switch. Keeping that bottom leg just an inch or two off the ground, continuing to draw up and in with that knee towards the armpit. So left knee towards the armpit, right heel extending out, so pressing out as you draw in. And breathing. Go ahead and draw that right knee back in, replacing both feet on the mat. We're going to take a minute in an inversion. So go ahead and roll your shoulders under just a little bit. And once you start getting up into this pose, it's really important that you keep your head facing up. So I don't want you to turn your neck to the side once you start getting into this pose. So watch if you need to first. Rolling your hips up and back and catching them in your hands. You might continue to roll those shoulders under, walking the hands up the spine, beginning to straighten those legs. Into candlestick, so pressing the toes up
towards the ceiling, maybe the ball, maybe the heels. Squeezing the glutes, drawing that belly button in. And I really just love inversions for so many different reasons, but it helps us regulate our blood flow. It's a way of reoxygenating our brains, sending a bunch of fresh blood cells there. It's been shown to boost serotonin and reverse some of the signs of aging. I definitely love this candlestick pose because it's just an inversion that tends to be so accessible for everyone, whereas headstands and arm balances take a little bit more work, although, you know, those are definitely accessible as well, but this one is just such a sweet inversion. You're getting to drop your feet over your head. You're going to release your hands to the mat, coming towards plow. So flexing the feet, taking your time, nice and slow. Maybe your toes come to the mat, maybe they don't. Maybe you bend your knees to come alongside your ears. And then beginning to roll down one vertebra at a time. And as you make your way to the mat, go ahead and cross the left knee over the right, left ankle, sorry, over the right knee. Drawing your leg up into a figure four, breathing here into that hip. You can grab in front of the shin if you need a little bit more stretch. Go ahead and flex strongly into that front foot, the left one. Still connecting with that nice deep breathing here. Go ahead and release that leg. Switching sides, inhaling up, now flexing into the right foot as it crosses over. Breathing into that hip, finding a little bit more release here as we wind down. Go ahead and release that leg. Drawing both legs out long. If you have a blanket close by or a jacket and need to grab it now, go ahead and do so. And as you're ready, making your way down for a few minutes in Shavasana.
Taking a deep inhale through the nose, and then go ahead and open the mouth wide, sticking the tongue out, exhaling through the mouth. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. Opening the mouth, sticking the tongue out, and exhaling. As you begin to bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room, into this present moment. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe you spin your hands and feet to kind of work out, wake up the ankles and wrists. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet to the mat, bending the knees. And taking a moment to roll on to one side for fetal position. And as we enter this time of winter solstice, this time of darkness, the darkest day of the year, we prepare now to rebirth as the sun rebirths after December 21st. So just breathing into this fetal position, this birthing position. And just take a second here to think about what you would like to bring in to the new year. What would you like to see birthed into this new cycle of your life? And with that intention, go ahead and begin to push up to seated. From a seated position, go ahead and bring the back of your hands to your knees, palms up. This is a receiving position. So we can receive all the beautiful gifts that the universe has for us this coming cycle, this coming season. Dropping your shoulders down away from your ears, drawing the crown up. Go ahead and just close your eyes for the next few breaths if they're open. And I'm going to lead us in just a few moments, a minute or two of a breathing practice. So go ahead, we're going to inhale once into the belly through the mouth. So inhale into the belly, and then inhale into the chest, and then exhale it all out through your mouth. Inhale to the belly, chest, and exhaling it all out. Continuing this. Continue breathing this way. Feeling supported, present, anchored. Begin to notice what you hear around you. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe it's the music. Maybe you can hear other goings-ons around you in your environment. And as you hear these things, go ahead and come into a space of listening, moving a little deeper with the breath. Just observing without judgment. continuing the breathing, take a moment now to listen to the thoughts in your head. Just observing, just noticing, what is that inner voice saying? Can you allow and invite these thoughts with each inhale? And from that space of allowing, with each exhale, can you shift those thoughts where needed? And where needed, can you shift them to something that may better serve you? Now taking one more moment just to observe what emotions are coming up for you. Just being with it. Just allowing that cycle, that process of that emotion to flow through you and not stopping it, just letting it go, letting that cycle complete. And releasing your control over your breath, allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center, dropping the chin just gently down towards the chest. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who commit to your practice, commit to showing up to your mat, and especially in such this potent time of solstice and the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. As we are completing cycles and preparing to invite something new in, I'm grateful for each and every one of us who choose to remain conscious, to breathe. Namaste.